Well, you have been quite outstanding leader in life. You have been surrounded by leaders throughout your life. What makes a great leader, and who are some of those individuals that stood out and inspired you along the way?
That's a great question. Honestly, Neil Armstrong is one of the best. He was the first man on the moon, but just as a test pilot, and he was always calm. He was never, a yeller or uptight or whatever. He had a very calm demeanor about him, and he didn't say a lot, but when he spoke, people listened. So I always liked that about him, as opposed to people who are yelling and screaming. And so he was definitely somebody that I like. Another leader that I really looked up to that I loved was George H.W. Bush. Again, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a very moderate middle kind of guy, and HW is a pretty moderate Republican, and
Was
he
that
was so
senior?
well.
Senior?
Yeah, he was so well
Yeah.
prepared for that job. He had been a congressman. He had been an oil man. He left his rich, fancy East Coast lifestyle to live in Midland, Texas, in the '40s, which was like, you know,
Yeah, the farm.
dirt and tumbleweeds, and they he really, people think of him as like this fancy rich. He made his own way in the oil industry, and he was a CIA director. He was an ambassador to China.
All right.
Vice president under Reagan. So he was a real at the time. She wrote him a letter thanking him for taking the time to meet us and our kid. And like a month later, we got this handwritten note from him.
Wow.
And in his book, he used to write. He spent Saturdays writing letters. That was Saturday
That's a personal touch.
morning was to write letters to his constituents or whatever. So he did that for us, and he didn't know me. I was I was just some guy. It wasn't like he knew me. So anyway, he's a guy that I really look up to a lot.